Check it out. Thursdays, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Noon, Eastern. A healthy dose of Jersey Girl wisdom. Live with revjerseygirl. Sponsored by New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Greetings and welcome, beloved. So glad you're here with us today. Today is a very special day where you are going to be, if you haven't met her before, introduced to a very special individual, and that is Jessie Powers. But I welcome you here today. Yes, it was a faux pas. I was supposed to have her last week, but she's here this week. And that's what matters. Life is all about rolling with the punches. And so Jessie would not remember, and I knew this. So when we got together today before the show, I told her she probably didn't remember me, but that I met her at Asilomar 3 years ago, when our beloved Ty Stevens from the Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey was one of the featured musicians that year. And I remember watching Jessie walk in the room and her presence, and listening to her sing at the campfire at night. And it was this pure, and I say sweetness, not to diminish it, because it was powerful, but there was a tenderness and this precious presence that she brought to her performance. So I remembered her this whole time, and I am so excited to introduce you to Miss Jessie Powers. Bring her on in the studio.
Hello.
Oh, hi, Jessie. Hi, Jessie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, good. You look so good with your guitar in your hand in your studio.
Thanks. I really tried with my lighting.
Oh, you look beautiful. You look absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad to have you here. So, Jessie, for many of us, you're new on the scene, but nobody gets successful overnight. So talk to us a little bit. Tell us about your journey to now, because you have this new album out, but I know, and any musician that I'm not, any musician knows none of those things happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to us. Tell us a little bit about what your journey has been about and what it took for you to get here.
Well, okay, I'll start way back. I grew up doing theater. And I did a summer camp for many years doing theater, doing musicals. So I love to sing. First thing I really loved to sing was Backstreet Boys. That dates me right there.
Yeah, love it.
Dates me both ways. And then I actually got my bachelor's degree in theater. And by that time, I was starting to play guitar and just write songs like kind of alone. I didn't share them very much, but I was kind of like, maybe I could share some of them. Like I would post one or two on MySpace when that was alive.
Okay.
And my mom used to play the guitar, so she had this guitar laying around the house, and so that's how I started. I kind of picked it up.
Is it that guitar?
No, this is my professional guitar. Yeah.
Okay.
She still has her guitar, so she still has that at her house. But so I started picking that up and playing it, and she had this American songbook that she had like hand copied basically all of these songs, and she heard them on the radio and then wrote down the simple chords to them. So I'd like learn some of those things, and And then I kind of started writing my own stuff and, didn't really take it too seriously. And then I didn't want to do acting anymore. And I ended up in Columbus, Ohio. Um, and I made a community here through the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. I walked in for the first time when I was like 23 years old. I'm 30 now. And I was home, obviously. That's what everybody says when they walk into a CSL.
What a
And I
gift you were to that community. Oh, my Lord.
Well, they have been a huge gift to me. They've really been the
Sure.
backbone of how I've been able to grow through this circuit and become a little more well known and get the opportunities that I've gotten. So I'm extremely grateful to them.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it started.
Oh, beautiful. So I'm curious, do you ever play with your mom? Do you guys bring out the guitars and play music together?
We don't really, and that is a really tender question that I'm really asking myself, why don't we do that? I think she is a little shy, and then I'm a little shy and about doing it together, and so we've never done that before actually. We
Huh.
should we should do that.
Yeah, my middle son is a chef, and one of my greatest pleasures, and I'm a cook. I mean, I've never been a chef, but I'm a cook, and I'm pretty know my way around the kitchen.
Hmm.
But when I get to cook in the kitchen with him at the same time, like all is right with the world.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be that experience. So you have your album,
Hmm.
and talk to us a little bit about the creative process. Because there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of choosing, a lot of decisions to be made, finding the right engineer
Hmm.
and the right songs, and then having the confidence of all that. That's
Yes,
all right. All it takes all of those layers to finally say, okay, we're doing this.
for sure. It's definitely a team effort. I would not have been able to do this without my producer, Chad Warren, nor would I have been able to do it without the community of musicians here in Columbus, Kevin Ashba, John Weisbrot, Kristen Elliott, Jesse Jervis, a lot of these people that just love playing music and were willing to be on my album. And um, a lot of the decision making was made by Chad, although there was definitely a lot of powwow back and forth so that he kind of understood my vision. And then obviously, I always had the final say on things in the end, but most of the time, his decisions are really, really good and decisions that I might not have been able to have the confidence to make. It
Right,
would have
right,
taken
right,
me a lot longer, is what I'm
right,
saying.
right, right. Got it.
Yeah.
Well, he
So
probably, I don't know who he is, but my guess is that he has many more years of experience.
he is a musician here, and we're kind of colleagues, but he definitely has much more experience with the engineering technology
Yeah,
side and theoretical side of things to be able to
yeah,
be like,
yeah.
well, let's do this chord progression or put this here or whatever. So,
Yeah, because I mean, again, I'm not a musician, but I have such a great appreciation. When I started my community, I always knew I'd have to have a house band. So when people love on our community, what they mostly love is the music. They don't mention the lesson, but they'll mention the music
mm-hmm,
because it is integral in being human and healing, right?
mm-hmm.
So for me, I have a great appreciation, and even with Asilomar, I go for the musicians very often more than anything else. So look, I want to. I'm going to do something a little in advance because I want to give you an opportunity to play a song for us, and you get to choose which. But before I do that, but so I don't forget, this is just a moment. I want to take a commercial break and say to you all listening in, dear God, support newthoughtmedia.org. Support it one time or support it many times, but please support newthoughtmedia.org. It is a worthy organization. Look, it brings to you the talent of people like Jesse and so many people from around the country. So do what you can. Keep the radio station alive. Vote with your dollars. Okay. So, Jesse, what would you like? Your choice. Your choice. Wow
Well,
us.
I'll do the song that I was doing for my mic check earlier, because that's really, I'm feeling that. I like to call this song my anthem for anti-anxiety.
Okay, so a lot of people appreciate that.
Yeah, it's called Rise, and it's really just, it's about getting up in the morning and making the decision not to overthink things and cause problems that aren't there, which is really hard to do some days. So here we go. These days I've been having trouble waking up. I'd rather stay asleep than try to believe in a higher love. And I think I'm fooling everybody else. I say that I know that I'm loved, but I don't, 'cause I'm still punishing myself. You see, I've been holding it in, this brilliant lie. They told me it was intimidating, so I've been keeping it inside. But when I woke up this morning, I realized that something this bright is destined to rise. So I gotta rise. I'm gonna rise up from my bed, get into my body and out of my head. I'm letting go of holding on to the notion that something's always wrong. I'm incredible, it's beautiful, this life that I live. So I'm gonna hold my head high like the queen that I am, living my life for the wonder that it is. These days I've been having trouble getting mine, stuck still in a tiny bubble just watching my life roll by. And I get anxious, I'm afraid of everyone else. But to be honest, it just gets worse when I'm alone with myself. You see, I've been holding it back, this power inside, too scared to act. And so I live in my mind, but now I see power is in my nature. And just like day comes after night, naturally I've gotta rise, I've gotta rise. So I'm gonna rise up from my bed, get into my body and out of my head. I'm letting go of holding on to the notion that something's always wrong. I'm incredible, it's beautiful, this life that I live. And so I'm gonna hold my head high like the queen that I am, living my life for the wonder that it is. This applies to kings too, okay? It ain't enough to just believe. Living life is a physical kind of spirituality. It ain't just in the movement of your mind, it's the movement of your feet. It's in the steps that you take. It's the body alive. It's the love that you make. It's the way that you rise. That was a little extra. So I'm gonna rise up from my bed, get into my body and out of my head. I'm letting go of holding on to the notion that something is wrong. I'm gonna rise up from my bed, get into my body and out of my head. I'm letting go of holding on to the notion that something's always wrong. I'm incredible, it's beautiful, this life that I live. Oh, I'm incredible, it's beautiful, this life that I live. I'm incredible, it's beautiful, this life that I live. So I'm gonna hold my head high like the queen that I am. Oh, I'm gonna hold my head high like the queen I am. I'm gonna hold my head high, hold my head high, hold my head high, hold my head high, hold my head high like the queen that I am, living my life for the wonder that it is.
Woo! Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will now confess for the world that that music is so important to me, that the reason why I stay very close to musicians is because what it does for my being and my soul, my body and my healing. So thank you. And in a little bit of selfless self-promotion, I want to tell you that Jesse is the guest musician for my CSLNJ community on October 17th.
Yeah.
So if you want to drink of the inspiration of this precious being, be there on the 17th. And if you need that information, you could always reach out. There's our email or our website, and you can always reach out to me directly. So, oh my God, thank you, thank you. So, I've always been a little baffled about this, Jesse. I look at there's certain art and there's poetry that I know was created out of someone's pain.
Mm.
And
What?
right,
What are you talking about? No art is created out of someone's pain. I'm just kidding.
and I know that that's so. So is that there for you? What, and if so, would you be willing to speak to us about some of that and how you took the pain and turned it into these offerings for this music?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Definitely songwriting is therapeutic for me. And not just songwriting, singing as well. And sometimes that's how songs arise is I just start singing. And I start sort of releasing this energy from my body from a stressful situation or emotion. And as I'm physically releasing it, it's like the words start to form, and then I can start writing a structured song from that. And those are the ones that come from a very strong feeling, particularly negative feelings. But yeah, for me personally, like that song definitely resonates with me. Just having the experiences of waking up and just being like, what am I here for? What is this life for? I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Am I doing it right? Is there a right? Is there a wrong? Is there a God? Where is the God? Is the God everywhere? Am I the God? Am I arrogant for thinking that? Just the constant over questioning and not being able to sit with what is very well. Definitely have that. And a lot of my songs from my first album, Begin, have definitely come from that space.
Mm-hmm.
I had a really special conversation with the late, great Erika Luckett, who is of Lisa Ferraro and Erika Luckett, the duo.
Oh, yeah.
She taught me guitar for a couple of months when she was still here with us. And I told her, like, my life is just becoming, this was like 4 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I was like, my life is becoming so great that I don't know how to write songs right now. Like, I don't have anything to write about, And she's like, right. So you have visited that room of your creativity, and now you're walking around your house and you're like visiting all these other rooms, and now just go sit in this room of happiness and sit in it the way that you sit in your pain. It's basically what she said. And let something come from that. And that's much more of where this new album came from. Though there's definitely some pain, but yeah. So really good advice from Erika. Thank you, Erika, for that.
You mentioned her name, and it strikes a chord, a deep chord inside of me. Because boy, was that woman a powerhouse of music and
Absolutely.
transformation. I've
Absolutely.
never heard anybody sing a single chord the way she could and bring the room
Mm.
right into this single intensity. And if you have never had the good fortune of meeting Etika, she was a musical and a powerhouse, but not just musically, in her
Oh,
being, so okay, so a lot of decisions had to go into how you chose what went on. And I ask you that specifically because I do a lot of one-on-one coaching. And what I find is that individuals in life often think that there's one right answer. And when they think they don't have the right answer, they freeze.
yes.
They all freeze. So
Yes.
you had to go through that. You had to be looking at this material. And so talk to us about your decision-making process, if you will, and how you settled with yourself about what you would do.
What a fantastic question that is. And especially for me, because I am notoriously, at least to me, indecisive. I have been a perfectionist all my life. And so that fear of failure, right, is like constantly paralyzing me and being like, I don't know, should I eat an avocado or should I eat an apple? Like it's real. The struggle's real.
I'm
Um,
laughing because I know I have so many clients that struggle with this.
it's so it's such an interesting thing to fear that you're doing life wrong, you know.
Yeah.
And that to me is like with this album was a really big journey for me because essentially what I had to realize was that my self-worth is not attached to this album. It's not attached to if somebody likes the drums in this part of the album or if they don't. And really, the best that I can do instead of constantly trying to intellectualize a decision is to sit, breathe, and let myself make the decision and then go with it and not second guess myself, which is totally different than this feeling of control that we're all so used to wanting to have of like, I'm going to analyze this until I know exactly what's going on and then I'll have the right answer and I won't fail and then I won't be a useless, worthless person. And that's just a flawed premise, and I had to learn that, and I'm still learning it.
So I want to reiterate this for our listeners for now or later. What I heard Jessie say, and what I really would love for you to hear, is that she got that the end result of her work was not her value, that her worthiness is not dependent upon her product. And I'm going to add this probably even the performance. Her worthiness is intact.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so, so critical because that is a mistake that we make. And I'm doing in the universal we, but we as humans tend to lean on our accomplishments for our worthiness. And I'm so moved that you got that at this, and I don't mean to sound condescending, but at this young age.
Yeah.
Because it's possible you could have suffered for decades.
Yeah, a lot of people have, and I understand
Yes.
that. So, and I do feel very fortunate, seeing that in other people and seeing that, like, oh, it's amazing that I was presented with that opportunity to start to learn that and embody
Yes.
that truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. What do we have here? Worthiness isn't dependent upon our accomplishments. Yes, correct. Absolutely. So, Jesse, are you living off of your music right now, or are you still transitioning? What does that look like in your day-to-day life?
Yeah, so I made the leap back in October of last year. I was a nanny full time, and was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. Things were starting to just get really busy for me, and I couldn't keep both things at once, and I'd been looking to transition full time. So I am technically a full time freelance musician, but I'm also kind of doing a lot of other things as well. But I really try to just keep it in the vein of like what I love doing, which is mostly babysitting because I absolutely love babies, like literal
Oh,
actual babies and toddlers. So I'll basically take a babysitting job whenever I can get. Also pet sitting, love that. So that's kind of my other little stream of income. And
but let me do some shameless advertising for you. Jessie is available right now to bring her in if you are streaming. If you are streaming your Sunday celebrations, bring
yes,
her in.
please
Um,
do.
yeah, bring her in, and for other performances too. I'd have to say, right?
Yes, and I have lots of open dates in November. So
Okay, there you
yeah.
go. We want to make sure that everybody gets a little piece of Jessie if you want her. Absolutely. So, tell me about your dreams, Jess. Tell me, where are your dreams for yourself as just a not just a musician, but as a being? What do you dream for yourself?
Well, first of all, when you asked that question, I was like, I don't know if you want to know what's in my dreams at night because it gets real weird in there. I had a really weird dream last night. Yeah. Anyway, um, my dreams, I think, I've never really had a dream of like making it big, whatever that means. I think for me, mostly it's just like constantly growing a deeper sense of peace with myself and
Hmm.
a deeper sense of connection with the people around me. And as far as my music, just being able to create more peace and connection with that wherever I sing and for whoever listens, and to create opportunities for people to ask themselves questions and open their heart to something that they maybe had been closed off to before, possibilities of a greater awakening or a different way of thinking. And so that's I think my deepest desire is just to constantly be closer to the present moment at any given second. I just want to be so near to that.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you mentioned Erica, and whether it's current day or other, alive in flesh or not, who were your inspirations, your musical inspirations, would you say?
Oh, I love this question. Definitely Erika Luckett, but also Joni Mitchell, of course. A lot of people say that I can sound like her at times, which is like the most mind-blowing compliment ever. Regina Spektor is another one. Her songwriting is just so... she just doesn't even care, and I just love it, and it's so clever and so meaningful, and she's a great singer, and she's great on stage, and great piano player, of course. I saw her live, and of course I was like sobbing the whole time. I was like, she's there. And then the most amazing thing, I'll add this in because it's relevant, she messed up on stage. And I was like, yes, that is amazing to see. I love when people that you idolize are like become human right in front of your eyes, you know. And that was a really powerful moment for me, because I was like, I don't have to be perfect for the rest of my life. I could do what she does, and I can mess up, you know, like I can do that. So yeah, I think those are the biggest ones. Adele would be one more, because I get pretty soulful, and she's much more of a soul singer that way.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. I wanna give you. Would you like to perform again?
Yeah, I would love to perform again. I actually was gonna hop in and do this earlier. We were talking about not relying on your accomplishments to kind of denote your amount of self-worth. And so this song's called Bucket, and it's about being unconditionally loved. Sometimes I get a glimpse of what happens in your head, and I gotta say that sounds so ridiculous. It makes me wonder if you understand how blessed I've been feeling being with you. 'Cause you got this way of carrying the light, just like a prism giving rainbows to people passing by, projecting technicolor dreams before my eyes. You just radiated, ain't it beautiful? And you got me so good that you could go and break my heart in two, and I would probably smile in awe of all of the beautiful ways that you do you. So baby, better get used to it, 'cause my love ain't going nowhere. You know your cup's too small, it all won't fit. My love ain't going nowhere. Oh, you know your cup's too small, it all won't fit. My love ain't going nowhere. Better go to Home Depot, get a whole bucket, 'cause my love ain't going nowhere. Do 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 da 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 da. Do 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 da 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 da. I love to witness you in all your humanness, 'cause I get to see the things in me that you reflect. I get this reeling, get this feeling in my chest. I'm in love, baby, with every little piece of you. Oh. And you got me so good that you could go and leave me in the dust, and I'd be delighted to find there was more of you I get to love. So baby, you better get used to it, 'cause my love ain't going nowhere. And you know it starts as a spark, now my heart won't quit. My love ain't going nowhere. Oh, you know your cup's too small, it all won't fit. My love ain't going nowhere. Better go to Home Depot, get a whole bucket, 'cause my love ain't going nowhere. Yeah, 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 yeah. Da 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 da. Yeah, yeah. So baby, stop playing like you ain't amazing, blazing with beauty and truth. Somebody heard me praying, craving, waiting years for a love like you. So baby, stop playing like you ain't amazing, blazing with beauty and truth. Somebody heard me praying, craving, waiting years for a love like you. So baby, stop playing like you ain't amazing, blazing with beauty and truth. Somebody heard me praying, craving, waiting years for a love like you. So baby, stop playing like you ain't amazing, blazing with beauty and truth. Somebody heard me praying, craving, waiting years for a love like you. Been 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 waiting years for a love like you. Thank you.
Oh, love it, love it, love it.
I like to think of that as like a love song from God. Like when I'm filling my head with stories about my unworthiness, and God's like, that is a ridiculous notion, and you better get that out of your head right now.
I would not be doing you any justice. Make sure you tell everybody how to get your music, because I know nowadays running out to buying a CD is not where it's at.
Yeah.
So how do they get your music?
Yeah, so if you would like to stream, there's downloads on my website, jessiepowersmusic.com, at the shop link right up there where you can see it. There's opportunity to download, and then there's also opportunity to order a CD if you want one of those. I'm sending those out hand packaged with bonus stickers at the moment if you would like one. And other than that, if you aren't able to contribute to my ministry in that way, you can go on iTunes and Spotify and stream that for free. And pretty much anywhere else you can stream that album for free. That particular song is not recorded yet, but yeah.
But we can, because I don't have a CD player anymore. And for those of you out there who might be like me, but I do want to purchase your music. So I can also do that through iTunes, you're saying?
You can purchase my music on iTunes, and you can stream it through the streaming app Apple Music.
Okay.
There's several other places you can purchase it, like I think Amazon for the ones that you pay for. But my website directly is also a good way to do that.
Okay, and then all right, good. All right, good. I'll do that. So, if you could design an audience of whoever in the world, alive or not live, whoever you could perform in front of, whoever the people you would most love to perform in front of, who would that be?
Oh my gosh, what a question. I have never thought about this. If I could, okay, so probably my entire family, like my entire blood family.
Oh, okay.
Also, Tori Kelly. Gandhi would be cool. The Buddha.
That's where I was thinking you might go. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jesus Christ would be really neat. Pretty much all the spiritual teachers. Eckhart Tolle would be sweet. Abraham Hicks. Basically all those people that I know would really vibe with it, and they'd just be like, "Yeah, this is great,"
Wow.
Hopefully.
I have chills thinking about you performing in front of that, that kind of audience. Oh my God, that's a beautiful thing. Have you ever reached out to perform at Agape International?
Not Agape yet, although I know lots of people there, but I have not personally reached out to them yet. I have personally reached out to Mile High, which is another really big one. So I'm waiting still on that opportunity. But
we need to get you seen, because the music is it's an invitation to so many things, and it's so fresh.
Oh,
it's
thanks.
such a fresh way of looking at it.
Thank you.
And experiencing music. So, if you left our audience, what would you like to leave our audience with? What's on your heart that, if it's the last thing they ever hear you say, what would you like that to be?
Oh my gosh. If it's the last thing they ever hear me
just
say.
or the impression. Let the last sounds a little morbid, because that's not what I mean. What I just mean is, what's the impression? Like, what's the one thing out of your journey and who you are that you want them to know?
I guess that's a really hard question, but I think for me, just what is coming up right now where I am in my life is the means don't justify the end. The means create the end. And so if you're doing something joyfully, the picture or vision that you have for doing that thing that you're hoping to get to, it'll probably be joyful. And if you're doing something through suffering and pushing yourself because you're trying to prove your worth, but you think you're going to be happy at the end when you get that thing, you won't.
Okay. Okay. Oh, see, there's a question there for you from Dawn Lee Martin, who's from Calgary, Canada. Does Jessie write children's songs?
Don Lee Martin, I do write children's songs, although I don't have any of them recorded, but I have about 3 or 4 that I've written. Yeah.
Oh, how lovely.
I have one called Watermelon Boats that I wish I could remember it. I can't remember it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offer it and then take it away. But yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So I want to thank you for your time. And I want to just pay you a little bit more of a compliment, if you don't mind. Can you handle another compliment?
I'm ready to receive. Thank you. Yes.
You're beautiful. Like, you're beautiful inside and out. What a complete package. What an incredible package. Like, your face just wants me to look at you, you know? It's just so great. You're so great. I'm so happy you said yes. I just thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. And thank you for saying yes, for performing at, my community in a couple of weeks. And I'm going to be praying you up and knowing that your music touches the lives of thousands, thousands upon thousands of people. There are many lessons in your music. It's a wonderful thing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And especially that last part for speaking that out into the ethers. So
Absolutely.
And I'm looking forward to our Sunday together. It's going to be
really fun. And what I do need from you before you leave today is I need a phone number from you, just so you know that.
Okay.
So maybe you could stay in the studio. We could chat for just a brief moment.
Sure.
So to everyone listening, download her music, purchase it. Let's not just get it free on Spotify or something like that. Let's go out and let's support the creativity of our musicians, because this is where we vote with our dollars, right? Like, I ask you to vote with your dollars for the New Thought Media Network. I'm asking you to vote with your dollars also in supporting people like Jessie and all of our beautiful New Thought people on this network, because the thing about their music is it's trustworthy. It doesn't suck you in, then assault you in some way. All of this music feeds your soul. And I get chills just acknowledging that. And our soul needs to be fed, and musically is a great way to do it, because it happens at a deep vibrational cellular level of the body temple. And that's, and you said that, Jessie, you called it your ministry. Music is a ministry. And she and other people like her are ministering to you every time you hear their music. So support their ministry by buying their music. Oh, you're very welcome, Martha. So signing off from Jersey Girl Wisdom, Jessie, thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And
awesome questions, by the way. You have great questions. You're really good at this.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad. And as I say to all of you every week, be well, be happy, and for God's sake, be brilliant. Fearlessly brilliant. I love you all. Have a good week.
Faith, love, openness, and willingness. You're in the flow.
When you're in the flow, have faith that a transformation can happen. Love yourself through every step. Be open and willing to have a new experience.
Get in the flow with Rev Skip and Chad Bradford.
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network.